Hello everyone, my name is Peter Dennis, and I'm the author of this book, Handwriting Analysis, An Adventure in Self-Discovery. Now this little book has sold rather well. I found out recently that to be a Canadian bestseller you need to sell 5,000 copies or more. This book has sold over 10,000 copies and it's continuing to do quite well. The book is composed of 10 chapters. The first one tells you different ways in which you can use the book. And it's a good idea to read this because if you don't, there's a chance you will waste a little time stumbling around in it. Next chapter is called Frequently Asked Questions, and it answers a number of them, such as where did handwriting analysis begin? What's it used for? How accurate is it? Is it scientific? Things like that. Third chapter is about emotions. Emotional responsiveness, emotional expressiveness, the depth and intensity of emotions, that kind of thing. Fourth chapter is about thinking styles, analytical ability, fluidity of thought, thinking efficiency. Fifth chapter is 75 pages, each page illustrating one personality trait, and they all follow the same format. So at the top of the page you have the name of the trait followed by a definition. After that you have 3 ways in which the trait might show up positively and 3 ways in which it might manifest negatively. Then there's a description of how you would find that trait in the writing among the various strokes, and finally an illustration of the strokes that point to that trait. The next chapter has a spreadsheet, and with that spreadsheet, if you just fill in the boxes, you'll get a pretty good readout on an individual's emotions, their thinking, their potential for achievement, their sociability, and their integrity. Now, in order to have a second edition, I had to add something to the first, and I added 3 chapters. First one is on the subject of emotional intelligence. And most of you probably know that emotional intelligence is about 3 times more important for success in business and in life than is cognitive intelligence. The next chapter I wrote about was compatibility. Compatibility in relationships. So you can imagine, for example, a couple people looking to get married, or a small group of people looking to form a work team and work together. This chapter will surface differences among the parties and help them to learn to accommodate those differences. The third chapter I wrote for the second edition was to teachers and parents about their children. And it's full of insights that both teachers and parents can glean from this chapter to understand better how their child learns and processes information, that sort of thing. Now, to make a third edition, I rounded up 13 friends, all of whom were certified graphologists, and one of which was a forensic document examiner. And we spent 2 days, and we went through popular literature on the subject, and we looked at a number of public domain court cases. And what we were looking for were signs in handwriting that would point to potential danger and dishonesty. And we identified over 60 of them. And what we did is we arranged them on a sheet of paper from the most intense down to the least. And then we drew a line about 1/3 of the way down the page, and another line another 1/3 of the way down, so that we had 3 categories of these signs of potential danger and dishonesty, and we labeled the first group severe or strong. And the second group we said was moderate, and the third group we called them mild, and the idea was that they're pretty innocuous, and unless you see them in great preponderance, you don't worry about them. This book is used frequently as a beginning text. And there's a lot of courses that have used it, and it's been used in colleges as well. Also, it's a very good reference for the experienced graphoanalyst or graphologist, just a reference that they can refer to when doing analysis. Now that's pretty much about the book. You can buy it from my website, and you can see the URL below, and you can see on the website a number of very positive reviews about the book, mostly from professionals. It's in most bookstores. If you don't see it in your bookstore, they can contact my distributor Quanta, and you can see the contact information below, and Quanta will ship it to them. Or you can contact Quanta and they'll tell you which bookstore in your area carries the book. Of course, you can get it from me if you can catch me in Richmond Hill, or giving a talk somewhere. I usually sell them for $15. There's a number of people too who have decided to retail this book, so they can buy it from me for $10 and sell it for $20, provided they buy 5 or more. This book is also very available electronically. All the major electronic retailers have it. I guess Amazon.com, .ca, pretty well any country. You'll find it in the Apple Store, the Sony Store, Barnes & Noble, Chapters Indigo. They've all got it, and they've all got it pretty much for all of the devices, Kindle, Kobo, etc. So that's the book, and that's how you can get it. The subtitle, you'll notice, is An Adventure in Self-Discovery. And as you might suspect, most people start out with a book like this thinking they're going to get a pretty good insight into other people. But the more you play with this, the more you realize that what you're really learning about is yourself. So I hope you enjoy that adventure of learning about yourself, and I hope you enjoy the book. Bye for now.